Okay, everyone, this is some freaking crazy stuff. We finally got some new information, actually quite a lot of information on Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. We have the new VJump scans, they've been translated thanks to Shunen Games. Thank you, my guy, this is absolutely amazing. DBS High provided this screenshot and Shunen Games translated the document. So this is going to be amazing because there's a lot to go over this. The game mechanics, like, there's a lot of changes here, just crazy. So let's start off with the beginning. So let's go first on this page here. Right, so this is really important. It says Bulma has dispatched some information. It says the following: in this issue, we're giving you the brand new scoop straight from the Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. It's age 1000 in the West City, and the player character has somehow made it into the Great Saiyan Corps. So again, confirmation that you will be part of the Saiyan Corps. Obtain info from Bulma, grab your friends, and get straight into the scene. Right, Brett is one of the player character's friends and member of the Great Saiyan's Corps. It's time to get into business. So he's not a playable character, so to speak, right? Now, let's look at the actual abilities and stuff because this is just incredible. So, where do I start? I mean, where do I start? Okay, it's just crazy. So, first, the battle system, right? Right, so first we have a number of new or different techniques, right? So we have technique attributes, bring a whole new strategy to each and every battle. So first we have the guard penetration. So this is a technique that breaks your opponent's guard and deals damage to both their health and their ki. So effectively, if an opponent is abusing a guard, then you can punish it with a guard penetration. Then we have the Ki Crush. Use a wide range of attacks or special abilities to greatly lower their ki meter. So when you, I guess you get lots of hits with ki against your opponents, then their ki meter decreases. So that means that they are restricted in their ki as well. Next one is a critical break. So this is a strong technique that can be used during a key break. A cutscene plays out as you deal great damage to your opponent. This reminds me of the Naruto Storm games, like when you do like massive punch, like you charge the attack and this is like massive face punch. So this is also quite interesting. Now here, see here, this is really important here because this is a kind of like generalistic mob. So he's like a mob enemy, so it's not like an actual different player, right? This is just a mob guy, which kind of tells me that there's going to be a lot of these mobs in the arena or the environment. And here we have like a different place. This is like a snowy field, which is really cool, right? Then we have the next ones. These are the special attacks. So it wouldn't be a Dragon Ball Xenoverse game without customizable battles. Equip your favorite attacks and enjoy an infinite amount of unique battles. So we have, for example, the Omega Heat Magnetron, Kaioken Assault, and Garlic Gun. All of these are unique. I guess you can maybe equip 2 of them in your character slot, most likely, right? You usually have like 2 special attacks and 1 ultimate attack, potentially, right? So yeah, this is really cool stuff, right? As you can see again here, so there's this mob here. You attack him. It's in the same place, in the same location, like a cold area. Now, this one here is quite interesting. This is a brand new thing. It says Soul Assist, right? It says borrow the power of the legendary super warriors to flashily beat down the opponent. So I guess like you kind of like summon like an ally to like do a special attack for like an instance, and then they disappear basically, which I think it's a new nifty feature, right? You can like combine your abilities. So if you want a specific soul assist from a specific character, which works better with your playstyle, you introduce them in that gameplay, right? Which is interesting. Now, this is where things get really, really crazy because we're going to talk about the Awakening, Soul Change, and Battle Style. So first one, Awakenings. This one here is crazy because it says, right, careful, use your awakening attack. So it's like an attack, you do it and then basically, you have a cutscene, I guess. and the player character can transform into a Super Saiyan, right? Just Super Saiyan. This is interesting, right? It's not just a new look, but the character's power will drastically increase. Now, it doesn't mention any other transformations for now. I mean, of course, this could just be for this particular issue. Maybe they're going to talk about other transformations later on. But for now, confirmed, we only have Super Saiyan transformations. So it says here, the character's power will drastically increase. So it's not just for cosmetic purposes. The transformation will be quite substantial. So it'll be really powerful. So I guess there's going to be certain conditions. So you cannot just like, randomly transform at any time. You have to meet certain conditions because the power difference is going to be quite big, to be honest. Then we have the soul change. So this one is very interesting. It says here, equip a super warrior soul to display some incredible power. If you have here the player character, she's kind of like releasing this soul and then she transforms to this character, to Trunks, right? It says here, this overwhelming power can often change the tide of the battle. So most likely what's going to happen is you activate the soul change and then you, for like a certain period of time, maybe like 30 seconds or something, or 10 seconds, I have no idea, you basically become a different character with their own unique skills. And during that transformation, maybe you're like immortal, so you can't really die. So it's almost like a get out of jail card, maybe? I'm not sure, right? Could be, right? Could be. Also, quite interesting here. You can see here, this is the boundary. So you can see here, this is the boundary of the arena. So it's going to have certain arenas where you fight effectively. And this is the edge of the boundary, which is quite interesting here, right? So definitely there's still going to be arenas in the game, right? Like fighting arenas. And then finally, the battle style. So this one is kind of self-explanatory. So the player character stance changes with whatever battle style they have. The way they will perform each attack will also change depending on each battle style. So makes sense, right? So depending on your style, you have Trunks, Vegeta, Goku, whatever. The way you do your attacks in terms of like your movement, your evasion, your like, use a sword or no sword, right? All that is based on the battle style, which again, it could mean that, if you have the Trunks style, you're more faster. If you have the Vegeta style, your ki blasts are more powerful, right? So it depends which one you want to choose. So all in all, it's a lot to take in because, I mean, this is completely different from the Xenoverse 2 game, right? In Xenoverse 2, you could equip, obviously, abilities, right? You could equip special skills, but you couldn't do like a soul change. You couldn't do like a soul assist. And obviously some of these other abilities, like, like guard, penetration, are also like brand new abilities, which is quite interesting. So yeah, all in all, it's pretty crazy, guys. We have some more information here. I think someone posted like some information on this. It says here, I knew that the Breakers was a testing ground for Xenoverse 3 because in Dragon Ball Breakers you can then do that. You get like a soul and then you transform. So this is interesting, quite interesting to be honest. So yeah, that's quite new, right? Yeah, it's pretty crazy to be honest. We have some more stuff here. We have here, there was a additional post at the bottom somewhere. I'm not sure where it was. Yeah, this one is quite interesting here. The model looks so mid and we are not going to see CACs. I'm starting to think Paragon was right. Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. Like, again, people are saying that they're CACs, they're not CACs. Like, we don't know as of yet, right? Because this could just be a standard model. Like, this is just the player character. I mean, even in the screenshots, it says here clearly, it says the player character. I think it was here somewhere. Where it says somewhere, to be honest. It was just here. Yeah, so we have, so Brett is the player character's friend, right? So player character could still mean that, yes, you can customize your character, but for now, it does seem like you can only create a Saiyan. So you will not be able to create like an Namekian or a Buu descendant, for example, or Frieza descendant. So it seems that you will not be able to do so for now. I don't know. I mean, obviously time will tell, right? But you will be able to do like these soul changes and like soul support. So that's interesting, right? Now, in terms of the actual, combat location, so to speak, now it's clear that you don't actually fight in the city. So the city is a place to explore, to like do side quests in terms of like, speaking to people, buying items, all these things, but then the actual fight is happening in certain like battle arenas. And I'm quite curious about these like enemies. Like, are there gonna be like mobs of enemies and you have to like fight against them and like attack a bunch of them at the same time? So is it gonna be like an arena fighter 1 versus 10 or still 1 versus 1? And then they're just gonna like kind of refresh, I guess, the enemies, right? Like in Sparking Zero. I'm not sure, right? I have no idea. But I have a feeling that this may be a mixture. So sometimes you're going to have to fight against multiple enemies. And then sometimes you'll fight against a single enemy, especially if it's a boss fight. So, yeah, pretty crazy stuff, man. This is, yeah, it's heavy. Now, I know right now there's going to be lots of people who will be disappointed, especially because it seems that, there will not be that much variety in terms of character races so far. It could be that we just get the Saiyan race to begin with. I mean, it's Bandai Namco, so remember guys, it's Bandai. So Bandai could quite easily release the version 1.0 with just the Saiyans, and then version 2.0 with like 2 new races, version 3.0 with another 2 races. So it could be that they release additional races later on, so people keep buying their DLCs. I mean, it's not crazy because it's Bandai and they love to make their money. So yeah, so it could be a possibility. I would be disappointed if that's the case, because that would just be annoying. But you never know. That's the thing. I mean, keep your expectations low in terms of variety of characters, because so far it looks like this may be quite different from what you've seen before. So yeah, your character, you may be able to customize their appearance in terms of like hair color, gender, clothing, but that's pretty much it. In terms of race itself and transformations, it seems that that's not going to be the case, at least at launch. Now, take this with a pinch of salt. We don't know this as of yet, of course, but that's a possibility. And again, I hear, why didn't they say like, transform into a different form? It just says Super Saiyan and that's it, right? So it specifically focuses kind of links the awakening to Super Saiyan only, which again is a bit weird. Why only Super Saiyan? Which kind of leads me to believe that yes, you will be restricted only to a single race, potentially, at the start of the game. So yeah, time will tell, guys, but so far it's looking pretty good. There's obviously some concerns in terms of the variety of the character, but in terms of the combat system, it looks quite a change. And until we try it out ourselves, until you test it and try it out, I would reserve judgment, because I mean right now there's nothing to do. You can't really test it out. You don't know how it feels. So let's not just judge it for now. Let's just wait a bit and see what happens. But so far, it's looking pretty damn interesting. So guys, that's it for today's video on this one. When we get more information and trailers, of course, we're going to talk about this in the channel. So as always, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, guys, and I shall see you later in the next videos. Take care.